If it's recording, you can start, Kat.
Okay, it looks like we are live. So, hi everyone. My name is Kat, MAFA president, and we also have here Julia, events coordinator. And we are very excited to introduce a live stream for Be The Match today. You've probably seen a bunch of flyers and posts going around the MAFA sphere about this organization, and we're here to tell you more about it. But first off, we'll do some introductions. So, giving the Be The Match presentation today is Charlie Esposito. You may have met him through, as he is co-president of Loyola Kapwa this year. He also is here with Eleni, his partner for this project, and now we're going to hand it off to them.
Yes, so I'm on the right over there. My name is Charles. I study environmental science public health, and I'm a senior here at Loyola.
Hi guys, my name's Eleni. I study environmental studies with a concentration in policy work. So we're super excited to have you guys here. We've had a blast working on this project, really eye-opening, and we're happy to share it with you now.
Yeah, and the person in the middle is Terry. She is the ICLA representative to get people to sign up for Be The Match. And so we're kind of working with her and showing her, hopefully this webinar turns out successfully and that she can use this for future methods of outreach. But also at the same time, we want to increase student involvement and student organization involvement throughout the different Filipino organizations across the Midwest to host bone marrow drives and increase the registry as well, like what we've been doing in our project. So ICLA Da Silva Foundation is who Terry works for. They're a recruitment center for Be The Match, but they focus primarily on minority and people of color because in general, and we'll get to this in a little bit, Be The Match, the registry for people of color, and for us specifically, we're working with Filipinos and Filipino Americans are really, really low. And so that's why we need these recruitment centers to increase more people to swab, and that will increase the chances for people who need a match to get one. So, yeah.
Great, so blood cancer symptoms are very similar to any kind of, flu-like symptoms or even a cold. You can see those listed below, things like fatigue, night sweats, nausea, frequent infections. Only until you go to a doctor will you actually know if someone has, blood cancer or something like that. So there are two kinds of treatments for blood cancer, either chemo or bone marrow transplant. Bone marrow is actually going to be more efficient and easier, whereas, everyone knows that chemo can be a long process and is often quite painful for people.
So bone marrow is soft, spongy tissue that fills the hollow of long, flat bones, such as the sternum or the pelvis, and it makes more than 200 billion new blood cells every day, and produces blood-forming cells, stem cells, that grow into white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. And so that's what we're getting from these drives, is to get healthy bone marrow from people who can donate.
So bone marrow transplant is a process to replace the unhealthy bone marrow with healthy bone marrow. This is obviously is needed when bone marrow is unhealthy or not working properly. Like Charlie just talked about, bone marrow is so vital to producing those white and red blood cells, and that's important to fighting off infections and stuff like that. Terry, the woman that we've been working with, really likes to use this garden analogy. So, a garden, if you have some things that aren't performing some crops that aren't performing very well, if you give it some fertilizer, that'll kind of help it grow a little bit. It kills the weeds. It's like a longer process. Yeah. But yet, if you were to tear everything out and kind of restart from scratch with new seeds, you're probably going to have a better chance of things growing quite nicely in your garden.
Healthy garden. And that's an analogy to a healthy body.
Yeah.
So what diseases are treated through Be The Match? Of course, blood cancers is what we're primarily focusing on with leukemia, lymphoma, and multiple myeloma. But it also focuses on anemia as well, and sickle cell disease, and as well as inherited immune system and metabolic disorders.
So actually, you are less likely to have a match in your family. Only 30% of people find a donor within their family. 70% actually needed an unrelated donor, and that's where something like the Be the Match registry comes into play. So we're working with Terry, and she has introduced us to this gentleman named Andrew
Parial.
who his wife went to Loyola. She's actually a Loyola alum. She's a doctor here in the city, and they have 2 beautiful daughters. And he was diagnosed with blood cancer last summer, and has yet to find a donor.
And so that's kind of where the inspiration comes from with our work, especially as Filipino student organizations. We have such a large presence and ability to kind of work with Be the Match and make a difference in this way. But with the registry and Filipinos in general, it's only less than 1% for Filipinos to find a match. And so we're all over the Midwest, and it's kind of appalling that this is the statistic. So we're hoping that through these efforts and giving this as a resource for you all, that you will have these drives at your respective schools in order to help people like Andrew find a match that they desperately need.
So like Charlie just kind of said, and I'm going to reiterate, bone marrow registry by ethnicity, obviously it's completely disproportionate. The chances of finding a match if you're Caucasian are so much larger than if you're of minority descent. This is kind of exemplified on this next slide. Your chances of finding a match, almost 100% if you're a Caucasian, and then significantly decreasing by minorities.
Yep. So how do you join the registry? There's multiple methods that you can do, but in essence, it's really just 2 simple steps. There's a consent form that you can fill out, or that you have to fill out, and then you get your cheek swab. You swab 10 seconds every quadrant of your mouth, put the labels on everything, and then you send it off to the ICLA or Be the Match representative. And we had this at MFAS this past March, and we've had people sign up. Cherry had a lot of people sign up in less than 10 minutes, and they were just, passing by. And so it's a really easy process. At our informational session, we had people just stop by, and we had about 20 people sign up in the hour, and we'll go into statistics of what that kind of means in a little bit. So here are some of our participants. They have our permission, or they gave us permission to take pictures of them, of course. This is them after they swab. They put these labels and then put it inside the kit so that it can get sent off and to the center to see if they're a match for bone marrow.
So, one of the chances of getting the actual call, only 1 in 40 will get called for further testing. 1 in 300 will be matched the patient, and only 1 in 430 will go on to donate. And so one of Charlie and I's goals is to kind of like spread awareness about what the actual process of donating bone marrow entails, and kind of help increase that number to be more than 1 in 430, hopefully getting more people being willing to donate and saving lives.
Yeah. And even though there's a stigma that we've experienced in our informational sessions that, oh my gosh, I'm going to get called and I'm going to have to go through this process and it sounds scary. It's really not like that. 1 in 40 get called and just called. And then there's even more selectiveness in that, where there's health implications that they have to consider to really make sure that you're the match. So the chances are of really being the match decrease, not to take away from, the benefits of being a donor, but in all essence, it is a blessing to be a donor because the chances are kind of small. And so we really want people to kind of look past, the fear of just even swabbing, because that in itself is just really beneficial. So we really want to increase those chances for people to be a match.
Okay, so, kind of going off that, how do you donate if you get called and decide to donate? 77% of the time, you're going to be asked for a stem cell donation. That's going to only take 3 to 6 hours. It's similar to donated plasma or platelets. You're back to work or school the next day. So again, like super easy process. Doesn't take very long and painless. The next kind is liquid marrow donation, and that's kind of what everybody thinks you're going to have to go donate automatically, but that's obviously like a way less chance of happening. Only 20% of the time you're going to do that. It's outpatient with anesthesia. 1 to 5% of your bone marrow will be taken, but that 1 to 5% is going to regenerate in 4 to 6 weeks. So again, this is just kind of showing how vital this bone marrow is to your body. You don't feel anything during procedure, and then you have a little bit of lower back discomfort for 1 to 2 weeks after. Terry described it as feeling like you got punched in the back or something like that, which doesn't sound very pleasant, but you know, it's not that bad. So there are certain guidelines for joining. You must be 18 to 44 years old. There are certain health requirements, no previous cancer, no HIV, hepatitis. If you are diabetic, it's okay. And, you know, one thing that we would like to point out is that tattoos and smoking is okay as well. A lot of times when you go to donate blood or something, a certain amount of your body can't be tattooed, but that doesn't apply for this kind of donation.
And also with weight as well. I know there's a weight limit for donating blood. There is a little bit of a criteria there, but it's not as extensive when trying to register for Be The Match. So it's not as strict. There are more qualifications that are available. So if you donate, you must be willing, well, not even willing, very willing. On the form, it's going to ask you a couple of different questions, and it says like very willing, not sure, etc. We can only accept those who are very willing or willing. So you must be very willing to donate to someone you don't know. You must be very willing to give a blood sample. You must be very willing to follow through if you get the call. Because if you swab and you're not sure, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like we wanna give you the information, and if you're still unsure, then maybe that's not, you know, what's the best route for you. But we want to get people who are very willing, so that there's not a false hope after we get the call and you're just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And then you must be very willing to dedicate 20 to 30 hours spread over a 4 to 6 week period. So 20 to 30 hours isn't at one specific time. It's throughout the entire time span of the whole process. So from, you know, swabbing to getting the call to taking the medicine for the exam, physical exam, all of that is spread out from 20 to 30 hours. If there's travel time, you know, Be The Match, they pay for it all. They pay for any accommodations that you need to travel out of state to go somewhere and donate, or if you need like a car to get somewhere, they accommodate everything. And that's if you get the call and you need to go in for further testing. But it's, again, with Be The Match and ICLA, they really want this to be a seamless process because you are dedicating your time, your energy, and, you know, your body to really help someone save their life pretty much. And I think that's really awesome and a really unique opportunity to really make a difference in someone else's life and save their life.
So you actually won't know who you're donating to. You will have the option, if your donor wants to afterwards, if they want to meet you, then Be The Match will help facilitate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ICLA de Silva does have some really kind of emotional and heartwarming videos of like donors and patients meeting their like prospective matches or whatever. And so that's definitely really heartwarming to see, but you're not always going to meet them. And, you know, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then that's totally fine too.
Yeah. And so this is where I turn it over to Kat and Julia to kind of show how MAFA has gotten involved so far and what you can do from this point on to Be The Match at your school. I'm going to mute myself. Sorry.
Hey guys, my name's Julia and I am your MAFA board's current events coordinator. So some places that you might have seen Be The Match in the past couple of weeks or months is like at some of our events, like they were present at Battle of the Bamboo, MFAS, if you guys attended that. And it was a really, really good event to like just see how the community could come together for this really, really great cause. I'm personally, in the past, signed up to be part of this database that Be The Match has, and I think it's a wonderful experience that enables us not just to like feel good about ourselves per se. I don't want to use those words, but really help others in moving forward with treatment or just giving part of yourself to another person. And one ways that MAFA can get involved is by contacting Charlie as well, or us as well, and we can help you facilitate discussion if you want to, per se, create a philanthropy project or something simple as like even requesting a kit. We can help you out there. But yeah, it's a really good, it's just a really good organization in my eyes. And if Kat, you want to add on to anything I'm saying, please feel free.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, please feel free to reach out to any of us at any time. No need, like email, Facebook message, or anything if you really want to get involved. We'd love to, help you get started. Just contributing to this, and I'm sure, like Julia and Charlie were saying, like you'll pretty much be saving somebody's life. And also, when you sign up, just like let us know, and we'll help you. Like, you won't be alone in creating this event. So. I don't know if Charlie, you had anything, or Eleni, if you had anything else.
No, that's totally fine. Thank you so much for plugging that in there. We really want you all to be aware and have the access to. This would be a great philanthropy opportunity because I know that's kind of hard to come by. But our experience with Terry has been very accommodating, and she's been more than willing to come and meet with us and have phone calls and everything, providing us all the materials that we need. She actually gave us this PowerPoint kind of. We just tailored it to this presentation, but Ikla and Terry and Be the Match, in our experience, has been accommodating in everything that we've done. Honestly, in their efforts to just increase more people to join the registry, and we really hope that we can find a match for Andrew, who we're kind of specifically working for, but just in general, everyone on the registry.
Yeah, we really appreciate you tuning in tonight. I know this PowerPoint can be a little bit long and extensive, but it's something we feel really passionate about, and obviously, just every person counts, every person that joins this registry.
Mm-hmm.
And additionally, I just want to let you guys know that should you at any point decide, I'm not really sure I want to be on the registry anymore, you will get a card that you can go on and take yourself off of it.
Yeah.
There's no, it's not like, once you're on it for life. You have a lot of freedom. And so if you are interested in learning more, again, Charlie and I are always here for questions. And if you do want a kit sent to you, we can do that through the mail.
Yeah, we can help guide you through that process. Because I had one sent to my house, but I went to the actual session that we hosted to just kind of do it myself. But you can get it through your house. We really do want these drives to happen at your organizations and universities, because in our experience, we've seen that these are really successful. We had about 20 people at our last drive. And for the month, that was really good. And with 1 in 40 people coming, we, in essence, already filled up that 20 spots. So that's just a cool statistic that we had in that 1 hour alone. And I know FIA at UIC, they had a huge turnout. I saw a picture, and that's just another example of MAFA just getting involved. And Northwestern is planning, Kaibigan, they're planning to host a drive as well, and they're working with Terry too. So it's really accessible and really easy for everyone to be involved. I know a lot of us have heard about it at MFAS, that more information and Battle the Bamboo, but we really just want people to take, this opportunity to kind of make it a real and powerful impact.
Absolutely.
So at this point, we're going to stop the recording and answer any questions that anyone might have. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate it.